Are you retired and feeling very lonely? Have you ever thought that seeing old friends might help? A lot of people think that getting back in touch with old friends will help them deal with the emotional void that retirement often creates. But it's not that easy. You might feel worse if you visit friends when you're lonely. What if I told you that? In this video, we'll look at 5 surprising reasons why you might not want to rely on old friends to help you feel less lonely after retirement. From how relationships change over time to the hidden dangers of emotional dependence, each of these reasons shows why looking for comfort in familiar faces might not be the answer you think it is. We'll instead talk about a smarter, healthier way to deal with loneliness after retirement, one that leads to real happiness and personal growth. Listen all the way to the end, because what you learn today could completely change how you meet new people when you retire. Before we start, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. You won't miss a video that way. Please rate the video with a like if you liked it and a 0 if you didn't like it in the comments. Thanks for your ideas. It will help me make better videos for you. We can start now. The first thing is that friendships change when you retire. Some friendships aren't the same as they used to be after retirement. This can be hard to accept. If you thought you could pick up where you left off with your friends, sharing laughs, stories, and company like you used to, you might be wrong. People change and life goes in different directions, and the friends you used to depend on may not fit into your life as well as they used to. Think about it. Before people retired, routines were a big part of how they made friends. You might have seen each other at work, during lunch, or at events on the weekends when your schedules worked out. But now that those chances aren't there, it takes more work to keep friendships alive. And when you go to see old friends, you might find that they have new habits, new relationships, or even new priorities that don't always include you. Take the case of John. He was very lonely when he was 72 because he had quit his longtime job. He thought that getting in touch with old friends would help him feel better, but when he did, he found that many of them had already moved on with their lives. Some were traveling, others were spending time with their grandchildren, and still others just didn't seem as interested in staying close. John realized that what he thought these friendships would be like no longer matched reality, making him feel even more alone than before. The truth is that some friendships aren't meant to last forever. As people change, the things that used to hold friendships together might not work as well now. While visiting old friends, don't expect things to be the same as they used to be. This could lead to disappointment. The smarter thing to do than to try to find comfort in the past is to accept that things change and focus on making new connections that are meaningful to you now. Number 2, you might not be where you need to be to find comfort. When you're feeling lonely, it's normal to look for something that makes you feel like you belong, like something from the past. For many, that means getting in touch with old friends. But most people don't realize this. Being lonely isn't always about missing other people. It's often about missing a reason to live. When you retire, the routines that used to give your life meaning disappear all of a sudden. You don't have any work, meetings, or other obligations that need your full attention right now. They turn to friends to fill the void that they feel like they've lost their sense of direction after retirement. They think they'll feel like themselves again if they can just get back in touch with the right people. But the truth is that turning to old friends for comfort doesn't always solve the problem. You could be hanging out with friends and talking about the good old days, but you'd still feel empty inside. The problem isn't not having enough friends or family, it's not having enough meaningful things to do. You shouldn't look to other people to make you happy. Instead, you should focus on rediscovering your passions, setting new goals, and making a life that makes you happy that doesn't depend on other people to make you feel complete. I mean, look at Martha. After she retired at age 68, she couldn't stop calling old friends, hoping that being with them would make her happy. She called and visited people during the day and tried to make plans, but she always felt like something was missing, no matter how much she put herself out there. Giving back to the community by volunteering at an animal shelter was the last thing that made her truly happy. She realized that she wasn't looking for friends, but for a reason to live. Think twice before going to see an old friend when you're feeling lonely. Ask yourself, am I really missing this person, or am I missing something deeper? Real emotional satisfaction doesn't come from relying on other people to give it to you. Third, visiting all the time can throw off the balance of social relationships. It should be possible for 2 people to be friends. Each person in the relationship should do their fair share to make the other person feel valued and appreciated. But if you're the one who always starts visits, plans, and tries to get back in touch, it can become unbalanced. When one person always tries to connect with you and the other just responds without doing anything, the friendship starts to feel unfair. A lot of retired people don't notice this at first. In an effort to stay in touch, they think they're just being proactive. But after a while, they start to wonder, why am I always the one calling? Why do I always have to drive them home? Are they just being nice, or do they really want to see me? You might feel frustrated, angry, and even more alone because of this. What about Richard? He is 70 years old and has retired. He has made it his goal to stay in touch with his old friends. Every week he would call or stop by to hope that they could catch up like they used to. But after a while he noticed something. His friends never started the conversation. That hit him hard. They were friendly when he reached out, but they never made the first move. It made him feel like they might not be as committed to keeping the friendship as he is. He wanted to know, have I been forcing something that isn't there anymore? If this sounds like you, always being the one to visit and doing everything to keep friendships alive, it might be time to take a step back. Being friends with someone shouldn't feel like work. If someone wants to be with you, they'll put in the work. If they don't, that means you should stop chasing them and focus on relationships that make both of you happy. 4. Relying too much on friends can stop you from growing as a person. It's normal to want to be with someone, especially after retirement when you don't see as many people every day. But relying too much on old friends to fill that void can keep you from the personal growth you need at this point in your life. You might not want to leave your comfort zone, meet new people, or try new things. Instead, you might hold on to the past and hang out with old friends because they make you feel safe, even if they aren't good for you anymore. Barbara, a 74-year-old widow who tried for years to stay in touch with her childhood friends, had this happen to her. To avoid being lonely, she would call them or go to their houses to remember the good old days. But she began to realize that these interactions did not make her feel fulfilled or free. She didn't learn or try anything new. She was just going back to what she knew because it was easier than facing change. The truth is that we need to change as we age. That doesn't mean breaking up with old friends. It just means figuring out when they aren't good for our health and happiness. Instead of always thinking about the past, why not make the future exciting? Get out of your comfort zone and do something you've been putting off for a while. You can still live a full life after you retire. It's a new chapter that you get to choose how to fill. Am I visiting because I want to or because I'm afraid of what's next? Is something you should ask yourself if you realize you've been holding on to old friendships out of habit instead of true joy. 5. Friendships that aren't balanced can make you feel tired. Friendships are supposed to bring happiness, support, and connection. But if you keep going to see friends who don't fit your energy, values, or way of life, it can drain you instead of uplifting you. Being in a friendship can make us feel obligated to keep it going even when it's not fulfilling us anymore. And as we age, our time and emotional energy become more valuable than ever. Did spending time with someone ever make you feel more tired than energized when you got home? It's possible that the conversation felt forced, that they dominated it with negativity, or that you realized you were doing all the emotional work while they didn't do much. It's not a real friendship. It's a one-way street. The more of these kinds of interactions you have, the more you might feel emotionally drained instead of re-energized. Take the case of Thomas. He was proud of being a loyal friend at age 76. He often went to see old friends to see how they were doing and to check in and make sure they were okay. But over time, he realized that these visits weren't making him happy. Some friends were only there to complain, others never asked how he was, and still others didn't seem to care that he was there at all. He didn't feel connected after those visits. Instead, he was tired, angry, and even more alone than before. You should value your time, and if you keep going to see friends who make you feel tired, you should ask yourself, is this friendship really helping me, or am I just holding on to it out of habit? When you have real friends, you should feel loved, understood, and supported. In that case, it's fine to take a step back and focus your energy on relationships that make you feel good. Last thoughts. If you've made it this far, think about what we've talked about today. Having friends is great, but they should never get in the way of your happiness, growth, or peace of mind. It might seem like the right thing to do to see old friends out of habit, duty, or loneliness, but if those friendships aren't helping you anymore, you might want to change how you handle them. When you retire, you shouldn't just hold on to the past. You should also make plans for the future that make you happy. Do not stay in relationships that drain your energy. Instead, put your energy into the things that will truly make you happy. These include personal growth, activities that have meaning, and friendships that make you feel valued. Let go of your guilt and remember that you deserve relationships that make you feel good. The part of this video that really spoke to you is now up for the taking. Did you ever feel like you were holding on to friends who were no longer good for you? Thanks for being here today. We look forward to hearing from you. Tell us what you learned today and how you're going to use it in your life in the comments below. We care about what you think, so don't be shy about telling us. We feel very motivated and encouraged when we read your comments. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it and found it useful. Thanks for your support. It lets us keep making good content for you to learn from and be inspired by. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.